Okay, so let's get started. Mr. Shaw is already. Let's get Mr. Shaw, good evening, sir. Can you hear me, Mr. Shaw?
Hey, Mr. Kisley.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir.
When I came here, I met everywhere silent. I was kind of afraid.
Yeah, don't
And
worry.
now open and I see you are mute too. I said, okay.
Okay, yeah. Let's start now. I was waiting
You
for
are
other
trying to
people to
wait
come.
for others.
Yeah, let's just start now. Time is
All right,
already
thank you.
15. Yeah, let's start now. Okay, so I'm
All
going
right,
to share my
all right.
screen. Yeah.
Mr. Kisley,
Yes,
what
sir.
about my assignment? Did I get anything
Yeah,
right?
I already complimented Mr. Jude. Yeah, assignment is very okay, but you need to still study. But it's very okay. You did basically what I said you should do. It's okay. It's nice.
Ah, okay. Because I saw the others just submitting one and I submitted two. I was like, is it one question or
No,
two
no, no.
questions?
Yeah,
Because you are talking about
I,
relationship.
yeah, but it's two. Your own is two, but the assignment is meant to be in one. But it's okay. The way you did it too, it's still okay. I still got it there.
Oh, it's supposed to be because you
Yeah,
are
just
talking about visualization and relationship.
yeah.
Because the
So
last class, I know that you are talking about the two in a different format.
yeah, I get it. But now what I was saying is that day I was teaching on this relationship. I'm still going to teach how to use all the visualization this thing there. So the reason why I was saying you should do that visual is because there are after creating those the cross filter and the relationship, you need to test it out, and to test it out you need to use your visualization. That's why I say you should use that part. So you were supposed to just create the relationship and then do that in the same distance, do the visualization in the same file.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. Okay. So as I was saying, Mr. Kojo, Mr. Jude, today we are going to be talking about DAX. That's data analysis expression. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's basically using your formulas, the way you do a formula in Excel, just basically that in this place. So let's get started. So in Power BI, DAX stands for data analysis expression. It is a formula language used for creating custom calculations and aggregations within Power BI, including measures, calculated columns, and calculated tables. DAX is specifically designed for working with tabular data models and is used to define and manipulate data within these models. The DAX formulas are similar in syntax to Excel formula, but offers more advanced capabilities for working with relational data and hierarchies. DAX functions allows you to perform various calculations and transformations such as aggregations, filtering conditional logics, and date calculations. So basically in DAX, is basically like Excel. All those formulas used in Excel, like in Excel, we have the date calculations, like using your day, week, month, year, and all that in Excel. We also have that in Excel. Month end, all that is there. So I guess so we also use that in Excel, and you also do some aggregations like using your sum to sum up your whole data that you have. You want to sum up your whole data, you can use your sum the same way you use in Excel. You can use it in your Power BI. So I get it. So you can use that in. So you have other ones. You have like your lookup value, which you have like the way you have VLOOKUP in Excel. You have your lookup value in Power BI. So lookup value is in Power BI is called VLOOKUP. In Excel it's called VLOOKUP, but in Power BI it's called lookup value. So you have that. You have related function to. You have other functions that you can use to create. You have other functions that you can use to analyze your data in Power BI. So we have three ways we can use DAX in Power BI. So three ways is, first one is table. DAX tables organize data. They are driven from sources and define relationship rows, representing records, and columns representing attributes. So basically, the table is basically if you want to create a calculation that you want to be added in a new table. So let's say you want to do a calculation, there are specific functions that you use to do that. So let's say you want to create a table, you want to create another table from a particular table that you have. So you can use your DAX to do that. So you want to create another table for a particular table that you have, you can use your DAX to that. Then we have another one called measures. So DAX measures aggregate or calculate data. So that measures aggregate or calculate data. So this one is basically what we use to sum up all this, sum up the columns you have there, maybe the content you have, your data, you want to sum them up. You have that. You want to count row, you use your, you want to count, you want to do your count function, you do it in your measure. You want to do your lookup value, you also do it in your, you can do lookup value in your what's it called, in your measures, and you can also do it in columns. So the columns is basically creating another column. So let's say you want to use a DAX function to create, to do a calculation, and after doing the calculation, it's going to create a column to put that calculation inside. So basically, that's basically what it does. So you want to create a calculation, but you want that calculation to be added to a new column. And you want it to be added to a new column, like the way we do in Excel. You know, if you are doing a calculation, the calculation will be added to a new cell for us instead of being in that same set of ours. So it's going to be added to a new cell for us, and you are going to be seeing it. So, but this one is going to be, because you are using columns in Power BI, so it's going to be added to a new column of data that you have that you can use to do whatever you want. But measure is basically, measure cannot be added to as a column, or it cannot be added to your table. It will be added to your table, but it will not be showing when you go to your data view. It will not be showing. But measure is basically adding everything you have in your data up. So let's say I want to sum up everything, and you know, if I sum them up, it's just going to be one full data. It's just going to be one. It's not going to be, you're not going to have the 1, 2, 3. You're not going to have different data. You're just going to have one. So if I sum up a data that is from 1 to 10, I'm going to have one answer, which is summing up all of them together. It's giving me one answer. So I can, after doing that, I can visualize it with my visuals. Like I can use my card to show the total amount of that thing that I summed up with card. So card is basically with measure. Measure is basically used in the report view, so that you can use it to bring in some small data, like for filtering some data. You can use it to filter. You can use it to sum up. Maybe you want to see total amount sold, or total of your units sold. So you want to see total units sold, you use your sum, that's using measure to see the total units sold. So you can use your measure to do that. So that's how you use measure. So let's go into Power BI so that we can see them in action. So I already brought in the data I'm going to use. So this data I'm going to be using here. So this data I'm going to be using. So it's still loading. Let's see. So it's basically the data I used the other time. So these are the data I'm going to be using. So let's come into Power BI. So if you see my data I have here now, you see data I have here now. So let's say, for example, now my boss said that I should get. You see, I have my unit sold here. Let me show you here. I have my unit sold here. So let's say, for example, my boss said I should get my unit sold. How many amount of units did we sold? So to do this. So basically, you know, if you want to get that, you just come to this unit sold here and add everything together. So that's why if you want to get your total units sold, you have to add everything together to be able to do that. So to do that now, we can use our measure. So to use our measure, measure, we have to come to our Power report view, which is here. So in the report view now, you can come here. So remember what we want to get? We want to get total units sold. So we want to see total units sold. So to do that, I can right click here and say new measure. So right click here and say new measure, or I can come up here and say new measure. So remember, as I said, measure will not be added as a column. Measure is just a calculation there that is going to be on top of that place. You cannot, it's not a column. If I add it, I'm going to show you. If I add a measure now, if I go to my column, I'll not be able to see it. I'm going to show you that. So let's create that measure first. So I want to add everything in the unit sold. I want to add it up together to know amount of units sold, amount that we sold. Total, we want to know total amount of units sold. So when I click on my new measure now, see, it's going to add the new measure for me. And it's going to come to this formula bar. See, it's adding new measure. So now this first part here, they're going to ask me to name the measure. So what is the name I want to give? So what do I want to do? So I want to say, I want to get total. So what I want to do is I want to get total units sold. Units sold. Sorry. Units sold. Total units sold. Total units sold. So the total units sold. So in here now, after putting the name, the equals to, so Power BI already have me, the DAX function already have me put the equals to, but if it's not there, you add the equals to yourself. You have to, after the name, you have to always add equals to before you do. So after adding that now, then you add your expression. What do you want to use? What's the expression you want to use? So to calculate all this together, I'm going to be using my sum to do that. So I'm going to use sum because this is in a column. So I'm going to, let me just wait. If I go out, it's going to calculate, but I'm going to come back to that. So remember that in Excel, to do something like this, you cannot use any other thing than to sum it up together. So you see that it's in a column. So to be able to add them together, you have to sum it up together. Or to be able, because it's in one column. So I want to sum it up together. So come back here. So I click on that, or the measure is gone. So let me create it again. Okay, no, it's still here. So just click on it, and this thing will come back here. So I'm going to say now I want to sum. So if I write sum, you see the sum will come out here for me. So if I just click on it, then they're going to ask me which table or which column in which table and which column do I want to sum up. So in which table and which column do I want? So I want to sum up in sales, in Apocalypse sales, I want to sum up units sold. So I can just, you can see it here. So if you're not seeing it, just keep that here. It's going to show, but it's supposed to show it for you automatically. So you're supposed to see it here. So, but now, so it's going to say, I want to get Apocalypse sale in table Apocalypse sales. I want to get units sold. So I'll click on this. So let me just click on so this now. If I click on Apocalypse sales, I'll be able to type this one myself if I want. Sorry, like this. So that's Apocalypse sales. Then I show me units. This stuff under Apocalypse sales. I say I want to get units sold. So units sold, just click on it. Then close my bracket and then click on enter. So with that now, it's going to show me total amount of the units sold. So I'm going to, so it's already there. So let's say I want to visualize it now. So I want to see the total amount. So I can use my table or any of these visuals here. So I'm going to use table. Let me use table visualization. So in this table, I want to bring in the units sold. So put it in this column part here. So units sold in this column part. So you can see it. So total amount of units sold is 3,001. So 3,001, that's the total amount of units sold. So you can either visualize it your table or you can visualize it your card. So this is my card here. So this is it. You can see it. So you can see this is card. So you can see I sold, total amount of units sold is 3,001. That's the total amount of units sold. That's the total amount of units sold, 3,001. So if you look at that measure that we created now, if you look at that measure, you can see what we did first. So first of all, we add the name of the measure we are trying to create. So what is the name? So the name of the measure we are trying to create is total units sold. So yeah, you can say total amount of units sold or total units sold. Anyone you want to name it, you can name it that. Then here, we can now put in your equals to, which is to identify that we're trying to create a formula. So we put our equals to first. Then the next, we put in our expression. So our expression is sum. So we want to sum up the units sold column in our Apocalypse sales. So we want to sum up the units sold column in our Apocalypse sales table. So then, so we say sum. So after the sum now, then we'll put in let me take it back so you can see what this. So after I'm going to do it again. Sum, yeah. It's going to show column name. So what is the column that you want to sum up? So the column name. So the column name is the column table that the table that we're trying to get the column from is Apocalypse sales. And the column I'm trying to sum up is units sold. So click on that and then click on OK. So that's basically that for sum. So you click on that to sum it up for you, and if you use your visualization, you're going to get your answer. But look at this thing that we did now. If you come to our table now, there's nothing like a column for that. You can see there's no column, but it's in our table. You can see it's in our table here, but there's nothing like a column for total units sold and all that, because what we created is a measure. And remember, a measure is only used for aggregating and creating some calculations which are not going to be visible in your column. It's just for your visualization. It's just for your report. That's why you can be able to use it. You use your visualization to use that, your different visuals that you have there to show your measure. You cannot show your measure with. Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, wow, that's good. Now, thank you for the class so much. Now, the question I want, based on this calculation that we are getting now, based on experience from the Excel class.
Yeah.
Now, on the Power BI, does the Power BI on the calculation recognize cell, whereby we can multiply one cell with another cell?
Yes, it does that. It does that. That's where the column comes in. Actually, I remember I said we have 3 ways we can use DAX. We have the measure, we have the column, and
You are
we have
using
table.
measure now, Abi.
So we are using measure now. So if you want to do row by row, that you're going to be getting answer one by row, you use your column.
I'm not saying row, oh. I'm saying cell. Now, you know, in Excel, I can say 2 times 2. It will give me 4.
Okay.
You know, I'm not using row now, and I'm not using column. I'm just using, that's what I'm saying, does Power BI recognizes using cell with cell to do your calculation? Either multiplication, either subtraction. So you are using.
You can use minus sign if that's, but I think that let me explain what. Let me know that's way. Let me explain. Let me think that. Let me explain. So you're saying that if you can do cell, you can select one cell and then add it with another cell.
Mr. Kingsley, please let me just chip in. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
I think the answer to that is thing, you know, Power BI, you know, we import these things as cells, rows, and columns. But when it gets to Power BI, like in this formula, what it's adding up is aggregating.
Yes.
So it's combining both rows, column, and cell, which is, so the value we are getting here is a combination of both rows and columns.
Yes. That's total.
That's why I'm asking that. Oh, so you cannot just be following. I just want to know. Okay. What are the things that you can do? What are the things that you cannot do? What you have done now is I can understand it, but I'm not saying that we are relating it to Excel now. Can we do that cell to cell calculation the way we've done in the Excel? Can we do the same thing on column?
No, the only thing you can do here is you can add this place and this one together. But what it's going to do is going to create a column for you. Now, if you have just one of the, if you just have those two data, if you have just only these two data here, that's what you're adding in. You're going to have it. If you have you don't have other data, you have just two data, you're going to have your answer there. But because you have other data here, it's going to, because you're using column, it's going to create column for other ones down. Do you get what I'm saying?
Do you know why I asked that question? Because I noticed that in our calculation, he always giving you the O to the O name that contain all the data in a particular column. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is it now possible now, the way you said it, that we can use one? What name will he give it to it?
You can give it any name you want. You can give it any name you want. The name is not like a must. Do you get? You can give it.
Okay, let me put it there. Maybe you understand it. Like some that you put now. Can I put that some, put 2 there times another 2 or plus 2?
Okay. Now I understand what you're trying. Now I understand what you're trying to say. Can you put in the number yourself?
Yes.
No, you can't.
You know why I go for that with that question? Because now what he did now, the last time too, when you are using measure to do that calculation, he automatically giving you all what we imported from cell into the Power BI.
Yeah. So you cannot create the data yourself in Power BI. You can do that in, or maybe use new data to create your data by yourself, but you cannot put 2 by 2 and calculate it. And are you getting what I'm trying to say? You have to use a column that you already have in your data, because you're importing from another place to visualize data, to use it for visualization in your Power BI. So because you have imported, you'll not be able to be adding another data to that. You only work with what you have on your data, on your table.
So what you mean now? So if I type now, can you type on the Power BI? You input your raw data by yourself without importing it from Excel.
You can do that. You can input that's where your new table come in. So enter data. So, that's where your enter data comes in. So you can enter the data you want yourself to use to work instead of bringing it. So if you use your enter data, you can use that to enter it. But I showed it's advantage with that the only thing that you can, the only reason why you don't use it much is if you want to update it, you have to always come to Power BI to update it. That you can also do that yourself. So I getting it. So let me show you the enter data. Let me show you. So this is the enter data here. So it's coming. So this is it here. I can start typing now. Put in a column I want. Name the column. Like give it the name. So I can say name. Then put in the data I want in here for this one. So you can say name, you have Joy for the name. So I can add another column. So everything, so add another name I want. So I can do all this, create another table. This is the first table. I can create another table. Create another table. Then I can use it to do my visualization and everything I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, so this. So let's say now I already have my total summed up, everything summed up. So I can also do something like, maybe I want to visualize this in each product. I want to see total amount sold in each product. So I can use my table to do that. So if I bring in, click out on this, and bring in table, I want to bring in a new one. Then come here now. So I can bring in my product name is not here. So I can bring it in from another place. So product name. So from each product, how many units was sold for them? So I can bring this one in. So you can see that now. So it shares this thing for me. So I have my total, then I have amount of units sold per product. So I get you can see the product and the amount sold per product. But this is our total product sold, total units sold here. You can see it here, and you can see it by each product if you want to do that. So that's what we can also do. So now you can also add up. Let's say now, for example, I want to create let's say I want to create my total profit. So to do total profit, I have to first of all get total revenue for each of the listing, then get cost per each listing. So to do that, let me come to my column now. So I'll show you how to do that in column. So now I'll be using my column to do that, column index to do that. So now let's say, for example, now for first now, I want to get, this is my unit so now, and what I want to get is the revenue. So I want to get revenue per each customer. How much do we make? So how much do we make? So that's the revenue per each unit. So let's say now what I want to do, and I want to get it, for example, you see I have Uncle Joe's prep store. We sold 32 units to the person, to this store. So we want to know how much made from this 32 units sold. So what I can do is, and remember that what I need to use to do that is I need to know the price of each of the units first. So to do that, if you come to my store here, I will be able to see the price of each of the units. Let me click on the table Apocalypse store. So you can see I have price of each unit is for nylon loop is 32.99. It's not in dollar this thing. You can change that if you want to change it to dollars, and you can do that. Then you have the production cost. So the production cost is this, and this is so remember, to get the revenue now, we have to bring this in and add. Let me bring it into my list, and so let me bring it into my sales column. So to bring it in, you can do it different ways. You can go to your Power Query and start creating column the way I showed you. You put it into that place, or you can use a DAX function to do that. So you can use a DAX function to do that. So the DAX function that we can use is, I need to come to my sales listing here. So I can use my lookup value. I can use lookup value to do that. So I will show you two ways. I will show you the related and the lookup value. So first of all, I'm going to show you the lookup value. So I want to bring, so remember that now what we want to do is we want to bring this thing as a column. It's not as a measure again. Remember, measure will not be shown as a column. So we want to bring it as a column. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new column. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new column. So if I click on new column here, when I click on new column, we can click on new column from the menu. You're supposed to see new column there. So then now they're going to ask me, what is the name of that new column that I want to create? What is the title? What is meant to be the name there? So I'll say I want to get the price. So the price can be the name. So price can be the name. Price per unit. Price per unit, I think that should be okay. Price per unit. Price per unit. Then after that, now I will put so what I'm going to be using to get that price per unit is a table, a DAX function called related. So it's a DAX function called related. So I'm going to do is I'm going to write related. So related here, I'm going to bring it in. So the related now. So basically what related does is you're going to look through another column, another table, not column, another table, and bring in a column from that table. So you want to bring in a column from another table. So remember, which table do you want to get our column from? So the price column is in the Apocalypse store. So you see, it's already showing us Apocalypse store, yeah. So you look for price, the price one. So this is the price, yeah. I'm going to click on that. I think I did not click on it though. So let's just go back and put my open bracket. So Apocalypse price, Apocalypse store price, then close your bracket and enter. So it should show us that now. So you can see unit per price per unit. So price per unit is 26.49 for the one that this guy is buying. So I get it. So what he's using now is this product ID. Let's go to product ID. Let's go to this Apocalypse store. Let's see. So if you look at this now, the product ID of that one, you see, is this, and you can see the price is 26.49. That's the price.
Hello, Mr. Kisling.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Now, perfectly. I love what is going on.
Okay.
Now, in Excel, if we want to do this thing on Excel,
yes,
we have to do what they call it, absolute reference, adding that hash.
Yes, you have to do all those. I
understand
understand it. Yeah, I get.
So Power BI does not need that.
It does not need that, because now the reason why it does not need that is because we are what I'm using to get this thing now is a measure, is a DAX function, and the DAX function is used in a column, and anything that you are using in a DAX function, if you are using a column, it's meant to create a long column for you, not just one data that you're having. That is meant to create a long column, and if it's going to do that, it's going to know automatically that when you get to the next one, you are meant to get the next thing on that. So the absolute cell reference stuff is not meant to be used there, because Power BI always gives you what you're meant to have there. Because now the reason why it gives you what you're meant to have there, because you already have a relationship. Power BI knows how all this thing goes. It knows that in this unit price now, because now let's see. Let me show you something. If you come to this table here now, what do we have in common? What does this table here and this table here have in common? So what they have in common is the product ID. So the product ID. So what Power BI is going to do is, you see, this thing is what they're related to. So in the product ID that we have here, the product ID 10,001, we have the unit price for that is 30.99. So what it's going to do for this same one too is going to come to all this product ID, because that's what is combining the both of them together. Those two tables are getting the distance together. Remember that I told you the last time, if you want to use a measure, if you want to use a DAX function, you have to have a relationship created. If there's no relationship, it will not be. You see that, like something I did now, if there was no relationship, what I did now will not work. I might have some errors under there. So if I don't have any relationship there, it will not, because there's a relationship. Power BI is going to bring that data through the relationship that you have there. So for the relationship that we have is product ID. So product ID 10,006 is the unit price. The price for that one, the unit price for that one is 26.49. If you go to this Apocalypse store, you are going to see it. So you see, unit price 10,006. The unit price there is 26.49. So do you understand it now?
Hello.
So yeah,
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now, so in order to explain more, so if this relationship product ID is not in this table, then Power BI will be difficult to relate this price.
Yes, it will not be able to do it, because there's nothing relating that column that you have there or that thing that you have there to the data.
So Power BI is not only looking at this alone, it's looking at the whole things that are here.
Yes. So creating that Power BI, that's why I say, do even your visualization filtering, you have to have that relationship is the key. If you are doing it between two tables, though, that's if you are doing it between two tables. But if it's just one table, all this relationship stuff is not, because they are in one table. So I get it. So you just do your visual and do your sum in that place and do your other stuff. But because we are using two different tables, it works with relationship. Do you get it now, sir? Can you still hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let me move on. So I have that in there now. So I don't want to bring only that one. Let me go back. I don't want to bring only this one. I want to also bring in I don't have my production cost. So I want to bring in production cost. So the same way, create another column. So I can create the column from up here. So create another column. So I'm coming. So I have my column here. So the same, give it the name. So what name do you want it to have? So I want to have production cost. I can say cost per unit. So cost per unit is also okay. Production cost is the same. You can give it the same name or you give it a different name, but they are the same thing because they're going to be related. So I guess cost per unit. So cost per unit, and then what we want to use. Let me use lookup value. So I use later. I'm going to use lookup value for it. So what I want to use is the expression I want to use is lookup value. So lookup value. So my lookup value, they're going to ask me result. What is the result I want to get? So what is the result I want to get? The result I want to get is in Apocalypse sale. The result I want to get is product production cost. So I'm going to say Apocalypse sales. So Apocalypse sale. Sales. Production cost. So let's type that. Let me just put. It's going to show me the whole this production cost. Okay, this is it here. So you can see Apocalypse sales production cost. That's the result I want to get. So it's asking me what is the result I want to get with this lookup that I want to do. So that's the first thing. Result. That's the column name. The column we want to get. So the column I want to bring into this data now is Apocalypse sales production cost. So I'll click on that. Then it's going to ask me what is my search value. What is basic search value means? What is relating these two data together? What is the relationship that these two data have? I am getting this info. So the relationship that I have is because I already have two relationships now. I have the product, the Apocalypse sales price, and I also have product ID. So what I want to use is the product ID as the relationship between them. That's search. What's the search column name means? So I get it. So now they're going to ask me search value. So search value, I'm going to put my table. So search value, put in table. So which table? I'm searching for Apocalypse. Apocalypse sales. So Apocalypse sales. Let's see. I think I made it. Oh, sorry, Apocalypse store. That's what I'm searching. Sorry. This should be Apocalypse.
I was wondering too because store we are working with.
Yeah, let me change this whole thing. Apocalypse store. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was trying to create this thing too for this part. So basically, I created after creating the what I'm looking for, the place I'm looking for reach for, and then now I need to also create. This is what created these two data. So then I need to also create what related these two data in my Apocalypse sales too. So what related the two data in Apocalypse sale? So what related them is I have to put Apocalypse sale table and put in my product ID because that's still the same thing. So this is for for the Apocalypse store, and this is for the Apocalypse sales. So after that, now I can click on OK, then it's going to give me that data there. So let's check it out. So come here. So units, product cost for each of the products. For the nylon rope, we have 13.67. So let's go to 13.67. So for this one, ID is 10,006. 10,006 is 13.44. 10,006 is 13.44. So 10,006 is 13.44. 10,001 is 13.65. So this is the product. So I made a mistake at the beginning there. Let me go back. So basically, the error I had there is because it's not meant to be this thing. So the set value is, you only created the relationship for the what is relating the both of them here. You have to also create it for this one here. So let me just redo that so that we look at it again. So look up value. So first one is the result you want to get. So the result I want to get is the production cost. So, and it's in Apocalypse store. So production cost in Apocalypse store. That's what I want to get. Here is my result. Then search value. So what am I searching? So you see, searching what I'm searching in Apocalypse store. What I'm using to search it is the Apocalypse production ID. In Apocalypse, what I'm using to search is production ID. So production ID is what I have here. That's the relationship. So I can use the second one if I want. But that's the relationship I have. So I can click on that. So then next, it's going to ask me also search value for this table that I have here now. So what is the search value for this table that I have here? So what am I relationship I'm using for this same table? So I have to define this same relationship that I have here if it's in this table. So I'm going to use Apocalypse sales, and I'm going to use my unit production ID. So I'm going to use production ID, then click on that. So now with these two now being deleted, it's going to bring in this data for me from this from that table I already specified. So again, this data I'm using. So because there's a relationship between those two, it's going to bring in that table for me now. It's going to bring in that column, that new column from that other table that I have. So I guess so because I have a relationship there, it's going to bring in that new column from that other table, and I'm going to just click on my enter. I'm going to have it there. So if you go through your data, you see that it's also working the same way for you. If you look at this, you have your production cost here matching with the ID. So if you come, click here. You come to this part, you can see it going. So you have 13.41, you have 10.58, you have based on the ID. So I guess if you come down, you can see them. So let's look for the ID 1001. You see it, you have 13.67. So everything is corresponding. So after that, now say we want to get the revenue by each unit. So revenue in these orders that I have, what is the revenue per each of these units that I have here now? So what is the revenue? So let me go up. So what is the revenue? So to be able to do that now, we're going to say the unit, we're going to first of all add this times this. So you say unit sold times price per unit. So unit sold times price per unit. So to be able to do that, so we're going to do that now in a column. We want to do that in a column. We want to create a column that's showing us the price for each and every one of them. That's the revenue for each and every one of the customers, everything that they bought. What we can do is come here and you say new column. So new column. So in my new column now, I can give it a name. So give it a name. I can give it a name revenue. So revenue. Now I can use, now for this I don't need to use my any function. I don't need to use my sum. So I can use my normal asterisk. That's my times. I can use that here. So I can use that here. So now I can select. So what am I? So I'm trying to do unit sold times price per unit. So I'll say Apocalypse store unit sold. So look for the table unit sold. Apocalypse unit sold sales. Apocalypse sales unit sold. Then you say unit sold. Put your asterisk times price per unit. So price per unit. price per unit. So price per unit and enter. So unit sold times price per unit is going to give us our revenue. So we have our revenue table here now. You can see it. So you see, we have our revenue table here where we have this and this together. So we have units. So this is our revenue here now. Are you getting it? This is the revenue that we get. So let's say we want to get total profit for each and every one of those, each and every one of this stuff here now. We want to get total profit for it. So we want to get total profit for them. You can say you can minus your revenue, you can minus this cost per unit from your revenue. So minus cost per unit from your revenue. So let me if you minus that, you're going to get our what's it called? We are going to get our profit. If you minus cost per unit by revenue, so production cost. So production cost per unit, this is the production cost. So production cost per unit, if you minus it from your revenue, you're going to get your profit. So to do that, the same way you did this one, just select the two columns and put minus instead of using times now. Instead of using your multiplication, you use minus to minus. So to do that, create another column now. Put a column. And in that column, I want to get my so and give it a name. So total profit, that's what I want to get. Total profit.
Sorry, Mr. Kingsley, please, sorry, where are you creating that column from?
Column, okay, let me go back.
Generating the column?
Yeah. So I'm creating it from up here. You see this up here? Can you see it? Can you see my mouse?
Yes,
so I'm getting it from up here. This new column up here. That's where I'm creating it from. So you can click on it here, or you can also create it from here. So if you want to create it from this thing that you have here, you need to right click on the table you want to create it in. So I want to create it in this Apocalypse sales table. I just right click on it and click on new column.
Okay.
That's basically that. So I can do that if I want to do it. So now I want to. This column is already here. Let me remove this column and let me just edit it. So let me edit it back. I'll say profit. Let's just say profit. Not total profit. Profit. So I just want to know the profit for every one of these customers, everything they bought. We want to know the profit we got. So profit. Remember how I said. So I'll say revenue. So I'll say Apocalypse sales revenue. So you have to look for it. Apocalypse sales. You're gonna see. So this is revenue there. Click on it, and then you want to minus cost, production cost. So that's cost per unit. That's what we gave it there. So we'll say minus cost, sorry, cost per unit. Okay, so now I already have what I want to do. Let me put this bracket back. So remember what we are in is getting the profit. So that is the Apocalypse sales minus Apocalypse sales revenue minus Apocalypse the cost per unit. So with that there, just click on it, enter. Then enter is going to that's for you. So it's coming.
Hello, Mr. Kingsley.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you my something is writing on your
okay, let me clear it.
Yeah,
let me remove it. Coming. So I've removed that.
My mouse is not.
Okay, it's hanging. Okay, so let's continue. I already removed it. So now we have our profit, total profit for each and every one of those units we have there. So these are total profits for that, each and every one of them. You can see total profit for this, total profit for this, and all that. So have that in there. So I created wanted to. So we can go to our come to this part now. So now we can also create. So if you want to do that total profit, like we did, you want to create as a measure. So there is something you need to know about a measure. If it's a measure, if you are trying to calculate a column with a measure, you have to first of all sum it up. You have to aggregate it. So let's say I want to create, let's say now, for example, I want to minus, I cannot minus total profit, revenue, and cost per cost per unit as is in a column now. I have to create a measure that is already aggregating both of them together before I will be able to minus that. So to do that now, I have to first of all create summing up both of them. So I can create a measure summing the both of them up together first, or I can also, in my measure, there's also a way I can do that. In my measure, I can just simply do a sum. While doing the sum of them together, I can also put the minus in there. So if I want to get total, I want to get the total profit. So to get the total profit, remember is what's it called? Total profit. Profit is going to be from the, it's going to be the revenue minus the cost. So, but to do that now, because I'm using a measure, I have to aggregate. See what it's going to do if I want to do it without using a measure. So if I say cost. So you see now, you see, not showing me anything like cost per anything or cost per. You see, because all those ones are columns, they are not measured. So it's to be able to use a column in a measure, you have to be, it has to be that you are summarizing the column. Are you getting what I'm saying, sir? Can you still hear me? My network is bad.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me,
What I'm
okay.
saying, so the measure that you are using now is quite different from the one that we are using the other time, the calculation. That calculation
Now,
is,
it shows the, yeah, that calculation, it shows the okay, which one is it? Are you talking about the column or the one I used to sum before?
this one that you're using now is measure, Abi.
Is measure, yeah.
But the other one, what did we call it?
Column.
Column, yes.
Calculated
Okay.
column. You can call it calculated column or calculated measure or calculated table.
So what does measure calculate?
So measure does different sums. You can do different calculations for measure. So, but if you are trying to use a column to do that measure, you have to first of all sum that. You have to aggregate it, means summing it up. Sum every one of those what's it called? Of those columns that I'm trying to use, sum them up and get one answer. Measure works with one answer, one column, like one. It does not use like a full column. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it sums up and gives you one. Yes. Yeah. So it doesn't give okay, this is finished. Let me close. So it doesn't give you more. So it just gives you, so to be able to do something like this, like minusing this, you have to first of all sum up the whole column together first before you'll be able to do something like that. So to do it now, to do this one, so what we are going to do, we are going to say. So
the column calculation cannot sum, but measure is only measure that can sum it up.
No, the column calculation, okay, yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, you cannot sum, because remember that sum is summing up all those these things together. So the only way you can use sum, the only way
you did on this table now, that you sum this what do you call it? Total
unit sold together. Yeah, that's what you need to try. Yeah, but the only way you can use sum is if you are doing it column by, like it's in a column, but you want to do it, it's going to be give you one column for each and every one of the rows. But now, if you're summing it, it's going to be a row, not one like one. Are you getting what I'm saying to say? I'll show you an example of that one. I guess I'm going to show you. Let me just use this one for now. So to be able to get that my total profit, I have to say, I have to put the sum of my revenue. So let me go back. Okay. Sum of my Apocalypse sales revenue column. The sum of this minus the sum of my Apocalypse sales cost per unit. So cost per unit, and then close my brackets and then enter. So we have that there. So these are total profit. I can now visualize it. Let me click out on this. I can create a card visual. This is a card visual to visualize the total profit. So bring it in. Yeah. So this is the total profit that we made. So this is the total profit we made. We made 86,833. So it's just showing us in this. We can reduce the formatting. Let me use my format. So I can put the unit, display unit should be in thousands. Like I can put it in auto. It's in auto, I can put it in none. So let me put it in none for now. So you can see it shows us the full data. You have 86,822.09. So this is you can also remove the decimals. So if I can also remove the decimals. So if you want to edit, want to do any edit to a measure, you have to select the measure. So the measure we want to edit now is this measure. So if you edit, select that measure. Let me remove this one down, put it down. So you can see now what we can use to edit that measure. So you can see the decimal places. You can remove the decimal places. So it's coming, it's working on it. So have 86,822. If you want to do it like that, you can do some. So if you want to change it to money, that's your profit, you can change the format to currency. You're gonna have a dollar sign in front of it. So you have that in currency. You have that there. You can choose the type of currency you want to use from here. You can choose that. For that, we're going to explain that in the visualization part. So I'm going to still show you that. I just wanted to show you how to do this for this. So I have that now. So you can see that's my total. So if I want to also see the total profit for each okay, let's say for each customer, total profit we made from each of our customers. So I'm going to create another table. So let me create a metrics table. Then in the metrics table, I'm going to add my this product name. I want to add customer name. Customer info, I want to add customer. So the customer is the customer name. The customer name, then I want to add my unit profit. So let's wait for that to add it. Okay, click on it again. No, not for this. I want this. We added. So now I can come here. I can see it. So total profit for each and every one of those this thing there. I can see it there. So the decimal places is very high. Let me reduce that.
I want to approximate.
Yeah. I want to approximate it. So I have it there. So it's already done. So you can see it now. So for this customer, Apocalypse Preps unit United, you can see the total profit made from them. So you can just see them like that. So you want to see the total profit. If you want to see for by the product you have, let me expand it. Okay, I forgot that this thing is not that big. Let me make it bigger so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So let me bring it here. Let me make the text bigger. So it comes to my formats. Then value. So make it bigger. So for this one too. So you can see that. Let me also make this. Let me add to this one, to this visualization. This. Down. Then I want to add to this visualization I have. I'm going to add the same total profit for each of the products. So you can see total profit made from this product, total profit made from this product. You can see this. So this is very low. This you can see that. So the most one sold is the waterproof jacket. So waterproof jacket is the most we sold, and we have $20,983,000 made. We have that there. So I and move on. So that's how you can get your total profit. So if you want to also get it in percentage, you can do it in two ways. You can do for column. So if you want to get percentage, you're going to say, let me do for column first. Okay. So I want to say I want to get percentage. So the percentage should be, I think the unit sold divided by total profit divided by revenue. That should be our total profit divided by revenue should give us the what we can use for the percentage. Let me
Total profits divided by revenue times 100.
no. For this one, it's just total profit divided by revenue. I think that's so. Let me try that. So the same way I do the other one for columns, just create a new column. Create a new column. Profit margin. So I'll say profit margin. Profit margin. I can put a so that the person will know, just put my percentage sign here. And here I'll say total the profit divided by revenue. So total profit divided by revenue. So say profit. So profit. So I can now for this one, you already know how to use the normal divide. It's just using your forward slash. You can also use divide function. You can also use divide function. So there's a divide function. You just need to type divide function. So it's going to get actually for the numerator. Just select which is the profit. So I'm going to put profit. So the other one is quite simple. Just put the two columns and put divide in front in between them. It's going to give it that. So let me just use this one so that to have total profit, not the measure profit divided by. Oh, sorry, I'm saying divided again. My comma. So I already have the division function. That's what it's going to divide for me. I know that's what I'm meant to do. Then put the revenue. So Calypso sales revenue. Stuff is blocking my this. Let me move this. Calypso sales revenue is this one. Then close my bracket and enter. Let's see. So now this is it here. So you can say you can tell Excel Power BI to teach this as a percentage. So treat it as a percentage. To have the percentage there. This my this thing is wrong or something else. Wow. 90 points.
This your profit is too, the margin is too high.
It's too high. Maybe I'm doing let me. No, it's not supposed to be 100. It's just these two divided. Like that's how you do it. But I think the way I'm using it is kind of long. But it's supposed to be Apocalypse sales total the profit divided by sales revenue. Let's do it the other way around. Maybe I'm not making a mistake. In this time, let me use this thing. Apocalypse revenue divided by apocalypse profits. Let's see. Nine. There's an error. My division is wrong. Though. What am I supposed to? Let's divide this.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kisley.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, the way I believe that they create a profit margin
Mhm.
is going to be a particular percentage on the cost of each product, not on revenue. I mean, revenue.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because
Each.
these things, how
Okay.
much are we going to sell it to
So,
get?
so the division is working. I'm the one
Uh,
just not getting
but
my this thing right. Let's try it that way, sir.
okay.
So, so that's the profit from each and every one of these this thing, right? That's the unit sold. So so I can use my division this thing. So I'll say units total profit. So profits.
Kisley,
Sir,
Mr. Kisley,
I
just
can hear
like
you.
I said, just like Mr. Shaw said, profit
Mm,
margin.
mm,
I'm thinking now is a comparison. You
okay.
know, like a percentage change over old to new price divided by old times 100. So it's
Yeah,
a
the cost
complicated.
because
It's not.
yes,
Uh,
your margin cannot be on the profit, cannot be on the this.
on the total this thing, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I
So it
agree with
should.
you. I agree with you.
Oh, you bought this thing. You bought this thing 1 naira. Oh, how much am I going to add to it to get the profit that I wanted? So you now, maybe it's 25%, maybe 20%, maybe this thing. That's what you will multiply on the cost.
Oh. Right.
In any case, we have the profits already. So that one is.
Which I'm looking at you, we have the profit already.
We have the profit already. So if you are looking at the percentage, it's just to divide that profit by 100. That gives you the by
Exactly.
100. That gives you the. So all this formula, this thing, we are only complicating.
Okay.
We have the profit already.
Now, I was not making. Thank you very much for explaining. So, what I was meant to do is supposed to be the unit sold, because what I'm using to get the profit is the unit sold and the revenue, and to get the profit is the unit sold minus the revenue. So, to get the profit margin, it's going to be the unit sold divided, maybe the unit sold divided by revenue, or the revenue divided by the unit sold. You're going to get the profit. You can see the profit margin here now. But I think it's still not the same thing. 16%.
These figures here are a bit more.
You said I didn't hear you.
I said these figures now are a bit more realistic than the 90-something percent. At least if you are doing these figures, I'm saying are a bit more realistic than the other ones were.
At times, division, I don't understand again. Okay.
Let's make progress.
I don't think that's the we still got it there, but I think at least you understand what I was trying to do. I was to just get the margin.
We've gotten the idea.
Just to show how to use the division. It's just that. Okay, so that's that. So now let's now dive in deeper. So this one that I just did is just the surface. So for example, now let's say we want to find a particular product. So let's say we want to know amount, like how much do we make in a particular product. So I guess in this, so now I say, let me remove this column. I don't need it. I think I'll be using like this thing. Yes. Okay. So let's say now, for example, let's say I want to, first of all, before I do that one, I need to bring in a column in. I want to bring in the name of the product. I want to bring in the name of the product column. Let me bring that in. That's what I want to be using for what I want to do now. So new column, no new measure. Using a new measure. Going to be new column. So a new column. So let's say what I want to do now, I want to bring in the product name. So product name. So you can use your lookup value or you can use your related. So remember the both of them is to bring in a new column depending on from a particular table. So the both of them are set. So I'm going to use my related because that one is quite easy and it's not, you don't need to go through that this thing for it. So I just bring my related then. So what I want to bring in, which table do I want to bring in and which, so it's just the column I want to bring in, that's what I need to put there. So the column I want to bring in here is product name. So product name, close bracket, and then enter. So that is the product I want to put. So this is the product name. So this is the product name. So I'm going to come here, pick this up. This is my product name. So let's say now I want to know which ones are what's it called? A particular product. For example, I want to know which one is nylon here. For example, now I want to put another column that is going to tell me if this one is nylon rope. It's going to show me that this is nylon rope. So I guess so. If you say this is nylon rope for me, if I want to know if this is nylon rope, it's going to show this is nylon rope. If this is another thing, it's going to show me that I'm going to use a function. So there's a function called find. So I'm going to use that function to find a particular text. So let's say I want to find a particular text. So I want to find nylon loop. Nylon loop. So it's a particular product that will have there. So nylon, I'm making a mistake in that text. Nylon loop. So nylon loop, I will say find. So that's what I want to use. So this is fine. So it's going to ask me which text do I want to find. So what's the text do you want to find? What's that name of that text you want to find? So the name of the text I want to find is nylon loop. So to put a text in like you want to use a text, you have to put in your quote signs. So put in quotes to be able to add the text. So what I want to find is nylon loop. Then my comma, then within which text do you want to find that nylon loop? So in which column? That's basically what I mean. In which column you want to find that nylon loop? So I want to find it in products, in this products part here. So I'll say products. Yeah, this is it here. So I want to find that nylon loop in this product. So now starting position, what is the starting position? What is it going to be? So let's say I put, for example, now they're going to say what this starting position means is if he finds that text that I have there now, if he finds that text that I have there, what should it add? So I want to add 1. So that's starting position. That's basically what you can do here. You cannot add in a particular text to be added. If you want a particular text to be added, you use if to add that text. But for now, I'm going to add my 1 as what is going to return for me. So then if it's not found, return 0. So close my bracket and enter. So now we have all this here. Let's go through that. Now look, I think let me put in, maybe it's case sensitive, put in the another. Let's see. So now it was case sensitive. I needed to put it in capital letter. So the nylon loop, I know it has to be in capital letter. So you have to remember that too. So now you can see this one is not nylon loop. Now I have, so it's not nylon loop. I have all this. I have 0 because it's not nylon loop. I have 0. I have 0. I have 1. I have 1 here, and I have 1. I have 1. So all the one that is nylon loop, when we have nylon loop product, is going to add 1 for us there. So you can use this to find a particular product That's basically what you can use. Then you can now use your if. You can now use your if to add the text you want to use. So you can add if in between this now to use the both of them together. So I'll say if, on the if function, if now. So if this is the logic I want to use in the if. So in if they want to ask you the logic, what do you want to use? So this is the logic I want to use now. So I can say if this logic now is greater than it should be equals to. So if it's equals to 1, if it's equals to 1, then what's the result if it's true? So if the result is true, what's the result? The result is going to be nylon. It's going to be, this is nylon. You can put any text you want there that I can use to identify your distance. So I'm going to say if the result is true now, I want you to put NYL. Let me just put a short form. So I want you to put NYL. If not, no, I need to remember it's the text, so put it in a quote sign. So NYL. You can put the full name if you want. Let me just put nylon. You can put the name if you want to do that. Okay, then that's that. Then if not, then if is not true, so you can say not nylon or not nylon loop. If you don't that, you want that now, say sorry, not, remember your text this thing, put in your not nylon or not nylon loop. You just remember anyhow you want to put it. So not nylon, not nylon. So we have that, not nylon. So I have that there. So remember, you understand what I did? So first of all, I used my find function to find the ones that are nylon, and anyone that is nylon, I put 1 on it, and anyone that is not, I put 0. So now using the if function, what I'm using the function to do is now say if any one of them is equal, so that means that one is nylon, that it has is nylon loop. Getting it? That means that one is nylon loop. Then you should add nylon loop for that one. Then if it's not, you should add not nylon loop. So I'm gonna just not nylon, depending on how I add it there. Click on enter. Then it's going to change what I have there to not nylon, not nylon, nylon, not nylon, not nylon, not nylon, 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 and all that. You can see that there now. You can see all those stuffs here. So now I can come into my table here. So now there's another function too I can also use. So now let's say now I want to count my products, but I just want to count the amount of only the nylon, only the one that are nylon, the nylon loop. I want to count the amount of nylon loops sold. Getting it? If I want to count that, I can also do that. Now to do that, I use a function called calculate. I use another function called, but before I go to that function, I want to know, do you understand that if I just did now? The find and the if. Before I move on to the count, the calculate.
I get it. I understand.
Okay, so Mr. Jude, what of you, Mr. Jude?
It's nothing to is to follow the procedure. I'm just relating it to conditional format.
Okay. So basically, what I did there is I used if. Okay, you know what? I'm going to show you how to use if. But you understand the find, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to show you how to use
is the
if
measure
later. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to use if later. If is normal, if is still normal, the normal way you use your if on Excel. The only thing is I use this function, this thing I have here to do that, but I'm going to show you how to use the if later again. Another way to use if. Okay, so let me come here. So that one is called calculate. It's called calculate. So let's say now in this calculate, what I want to do now, I want to count what I just created now. I want to count how many of the nylon bags were sold. So to count it now, I can use my what we call calculate. Let me create a new measure. New measure. And this new measure, I want to count nylon bag. Nylon loop, not bags. When you say nylon bag, nylon loop, count of nylon loop, count of nylon loop. Then I will say calculate. So calculate. So basically what it's going to do, what calculate does is, calculate contains an expression that I want to carry out. So in calculate, you are creating an expression. So what it does is, after creating that expression now, it gives you a way that you can do a filter. For example, what we want to do now is we want to count nylon bag, but in that column that has nylon bag, we also have another ones. We have what's it called? We have other products there. We have not nylon bag. So I get it. We have, for that one that we created now, we just created now, I'll use if to do. We have not nylon bag and we have nylon bag. So we want to filter that what we just want to do is what we want to count is just nylon bag. So I get it. So we want to create the expression. The expression we want to do is we want to count. So I get it. But we want to also count based on a particular value, not all the stuff we have on that column. So that's where the calculate comes in. So here it gives you a filter. You are doing an expression, but the calculate gives you a filter so that you can be able to filter out the stuff that you want to count. So I want to filter out what I want to count now based on nylon bag. So it has to be nylon bag. But what I put there is nylon. So the column I'm gonna let me go back here. It's going to be showing me this now. I'm going to come back to it. So you can see what I have here. Let me go. I have not nylon and nylon. So the one I want to count is the one that contains nylon. So I can create a filter that I want to count only the one that has nylon. So if I come here now, I can click on that measure. Where's the measure? Where is it? Oh, like it's gone. Did I add it in? Okay. Let me just create it again. It's gone. No, I did not. I'm not doing. Okay, this is it up here. It's not gone. This is it here. So let's say now what I want to do is I want to count the row, that whole row. So I want to count row. I will use the function. So what function do I want to use to count that row? Is count row function. That's the expression I want to use. Count row. That's that count row function. That's the expression I want to use. So I say count rows. So count rows. Count rows. Now in this count row, which table do I want to count? I want to count the Apocalypse sales. The Apocalypse sales. In Apocalypse sales, I want to filter it. Now, after that, just close the bracket for this Apocalypse sales part. Then now it's going to ask you, what is the filter you want to do? So what is your filter? So what filter I want to do is, I want I'm going to calculate to be equals to. So in that Apocalypse sales, so in Apocalypse sales now, I want to get Apocalypse. What's that? What did I name that? This thing, nylon or something. I named that
nylon rope.
That's what I named it,
nylon.
right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The nylon. I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen it now. So now, in this nylon, that column that I created, which is nylon loop column that I created now, I want to count only the content in that nylon loop column that is equals to nylon. That is equals to nylon. So remember, make sure that you are putting it in your this thing apostrophe quote sign that is equals to nylon because it's a text nylon. So that is equals to nylon. Then click on. No, there's a mistake. Oh, sorry. So I went and put brackets here. This bracket is supposed to be at the ending, that is covering everything. So this is it here. You can see. So what I'm doing here is I want to count a row. I want to count the whole row in this thing, but I want the whole row that I'm counting that I want it in that row. That I want in the count to be related to the Apocalypse sales row column, and the column that it has to count has to contain nylon loop. Nylon, okay, nylon. It has to contain nylon. It has to contain nylon. So let's do that. Now it has to contain nylon. So if you say it has to contain nylon, now I have put that there, and I can click on my enter. So let's save that out. So we have that there. So I can bring in a visualization now, put it in, and then where is that? My count of nylon, put it in here. To have 9 nylon rope products sold. We have 9 nylon rope products sold. So do you understand? We have 9 nylon rope products sold. So not just for the not just for this one, you can also use that calculator to do. That calculator is very, very important actually. You can also use it when you are summing in. So when you want to sum sum, you want to do your unit in your unit price, you want to sum, but you want to sum the one that equals to a particular number. That's the ones you want to sum. You can also use that filter. That's it. You want to sum the one that equals to a particular number. You want to sum the one that okay, listen now. In this my count of this thing, I want to sum. Let me go to this nylon packet. I want to give it 2 filters. It has to be nylon. That should be a nylon rope product. And in the nylon rope product, it has to be greater than a particular number. I can also do that in that filter. So if I come here now, I have a way I can add more filters to it. So if I come to that place, click on this, you can see I have first filter, which is to be a nylon rope. Then remove my this thing here. I can put my comma. They're going to ask me the second filter too. So what is the next filter I want to do? So what is my next filter? My next filter is I want the Apocalypse sales unit revenue. Revenue. Let's say revenue. Where is my revenue? Apocalypse sales. It's not here. Let's go down. Okay, this is it here. Revenue should be greater than a particular number. So I want the revenue to be greater than 700. So the revenue for this sales Apocalypse revenue should be, for each nylon bar that I want to count, should be greater than 700. So do that, put a bracket and enter. Let's see that work. It's magic. So you have 7 now, because there are some of the nylon bags so that their revenue is not up to what's it called? It's not up to the revenue is not up to 700. So I get it. So the calculated column is for you to put in an expression, then add a filter before that expression is going to be done. That's all the calculation. It's not just for this one. I can also do it now. Let's say now, before summing that unit price, before summing the unit, it has to be greater than a particular number. I can also do it. So if I want to do that, I just need to create another measure, new measure, create a new measure. To create a new measure now, I'll say, okay. So let's say I want to know count of units greater than for this, I want to check something. I want to check the highest amount we have so that I know the so that we can see some ones that we can. I want to just check the range of unit amount of the units we get. So unit, okay, we got up to even 60. Okay, so I'm going to use 50 and above. Let me just use 50 and above for the calculation. Greater than. So I'm going to say calculate greater than 50. Greater than 50. So count of units sold greater than 50. So count of units sold greater than 50. So I'll say calculate. So I'm going to use my calculate. Then what is the expression I want to use? So I want to count. So now in this one, I can use count row, or okay, now I cannot use count row for this one now. I cannot use count row. I don't want to count the ones greater than 50. I want to, okay, I can actually do that. But let's say I want to sum. So if I want to count, I can count only the unit greater than 50. So it's going to do that filter for me. If I want to do that, if I say count unit greater than 50, it's going to count it for me. But I want to sum. So I want to sum only the ones that are greater than a particular number. So I can say sum. Okay, this one, what I'm doing is, let me just do count. I already put count as what I'm trying to find. Just I want to count and where do I want to code the in units? What I want to count is units sold. So look for units sold. Units sold. Okay, this is it here. Units sold. Close that bracket for that part. Then comma. Put in your filter. So what is my filter? So on my Calypso sales units sold. Calypso sales units sold. Let's come down. Calypso sales units sold should be greater than. So it should be greater than 50. That's the filter I want to put there. So it should be greater than 50. That's my filter there. Greater than 50. And then enter. So now let's see that. So this is the normal total unit sold we had. So let's see the one. So this one is just count. It's not sum. This one is sum. This one is just count. It's not. It's going to be different from that one because we are just counting. So I'm going to create a new measure of card. Then in that card, I want to see my where is it? Count of. Where did I add it?
That is there up now. Count of units.
Okay,
Yes.
no, so here you can see we have 29 that's greater than 50. You have 29 units that we sold that are greater than 50. That's 29 customers bought from us that their product are greater than 50. You can add this to a table. Add my customer name. Then I want to add my, where is that? So up here. Count of units. So you can see that. So this one, it bought it's going to just delegate it for us. So you had 29. It's going to tell us how many this one bought, how many this one bought, and how many this one bought. That's basically what it's going to do. You can also put, if you want to be the name of the product, and you see how many of those units, those products that was a unit sold greater than 50. So I can also do that. But for that one, just put it in this part. So let me come here and bring that in. So two of the units, so you can see the product that we have there. So you can see in this one, the unit so that unit that were so that greater than 50 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 4, 4. This one is 3, this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 2, this one is 2, this one is 2. We have that's for them. So that you can use your calculated you can use your calculate to filter before doing a particular expression that is added. So that's basically what the calculate function does. You can use your calculate function in your sum. So if you want to sum now, you can use that. If you say you want to sum, but with a particular filter. Right? So if you want to sum the one that is a particular product, you can do that too. A particular product, just put that name of that product as the filter. It's going to filter it for you, and then count the other one that's not another product, or count just that one that depending on what you want to do for each product. But now remember that the calculate is not the main function. The calculate is just the function that filters out. The main function is what you're trying to do. So if you're summing in, if you're counting rows, if you're counting columns, if you're depending on what you're trying to do, that's what is the main expression. So I guess that's what's going to give you your main answer. But the calculate is just to filter out some of the things you don't need there, and to have the one you have to use the one you have there to do what you want to do. To remove out some of the maybe for products, you want to remove out some products that are not meant to be in your count of the product you want to count. You can use the filter to filter it out. If you want to if it's just one particular product you want to do, you can have the filter as many as like can add. If I put that in, if I put my comment, it's going to show me to add another filter. Put another comment, show me to another. I can keep adding my filters. So that filter has to be met before that one should be counted. Before the distance will be counted into the product, and before it will be added to your expression. If it does not meet that all those filters, it will not be added to your expression. Hope you guys understand. Hope you understand. Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear
The
you.
calculate
Yes,
is
I can hear.
I
I
can
can hear
hear
you.
you.
is
I
it
can hear you.
that
As
is
as for understanding it, one will still need to sit down and watch and
so it's not that hard
yeah, I need
actually. It's not that hard. It's
to,
just what you need to do is you just need to know the other ones, how to create a how to count a column. You just need to add the calculate, add the expression, then add a filter to it. The way you do in if, where you say if this is equals to this, then that's when you need to give you this answer. It's just
I think
basically
it related to
if
nested if.
nested if, and so I getting it. So it gives you filter. You know, if is the same thing. It filters out the content or the thing that does not meet that criteria that you're giving to it. So it's basically the same thing. It has a criteria that has to be that has to be met before the expression will pass through it. It's basically like if. So this one is just that you are using an expression under it too again. You're using your sum, you're using your this and all that. The same thing, you do the same thing on if too. For example, if you're using if error and you want to use VLOOKUP, you want to use X, all those stuff in Excel, you are joining both of them together. It's just basically the same thing. But the calculator just filters, helps you to filter depending on what you are trying to do. It's quite simple. You just need to practice it. It might look complicated, but if you practice it, you understand it better. Okay, so the next two things we are going to talk about today again is we still have other things to talk with. Hey, we are not talking about the date part. We're going to talk about that too. But let me go over that if again before I go into the date part and all that. So let's say now I want to do that in another distance. So okay, let's say let me use my profit as an example now. So I'm going to create a new column. And I say in this my new column now, I want to say if the column is if the let me put I created a measure. Yeah, I'm just clicking on the measure. I wanted to create column and I clicked on measure. Let's wait for it to coming up. Okay, so let's say if I click here, I say new column. New column, that's what I want to add. Okay, so in new column now, let's say in this new column now, I want to add, if my product is greater than, if my profit is greater than 30, let me, what number should I use? Let me, what number should I give you? If I want to know the product that are greater than a particular number, profit, or you know what, let's do this way. Let's know the units that are greater than 50. So I want to say units sold that is greater than 50. So you can see if if my logic, so what's the logic I want to do? So if my apocalypse, first one is my logic, which is what is the logic I want to use there? What is the what's it called? What is the criteria I want to use for this part? In Excel, they call it criteria, but this one is called logic text. So if my apocalypse sales unit sold, apocalypse sales unit sold is greater than 50. So if my apocalypse sales unit sold is greater than 50, comma, then the result. So if it's greater than 50, then what is the result you want to pass in? That's basically that. Greater than 50, I want to pass in my So let me put in my results. So I put in what's the result I want to get. Okay, let me put in high. So just for this one, I just put high. I will do another one for the nested if, but I'm just putting this one for them. I'm say high. Then next, if it's not high, just put in a text that you can use for that. So I'm going to say the result is going to be dropped. It's going to be not high. I want not high. Not high. Then put in your
Just
first
put
bracket.
low instead of
High.
much
Okay.
like
Let me. Okay. Low is better, right? Let me just put low. So low.
no, the other one you already put high now.
One is
The other
high,
one you
the
put
other
low.
one low.
Sorry. So put in like this back. I put in not high, just low, and then enter. So you can see you have the low, you have the high, low, high. That's basically what it does. So the nested diff.
Oh,
So you understand that now, right? The nested diff is also
yeah.
that simple too. The nested diff is, let's say if what I want to do is I want to segregate them. I want to put the one that is if it's low, if it's medium, or if it's high. I get it. So I want to say that anyone that is below 20, anyone that is below 10 is low. Anyone that is below 30 is medium. Anyone that is below what's it called? Anyone that is, but any other one that is up there is high. So let's do it like that. Let's do. Now, what I want to do is, I'll say, if this thing is lesser than or equals to, lesser than or equals to, lesser than or equals to 30, lesser than or equals to 30, you should put, what's the result you're going to get? So what's the result you're going to get? If it's that, then put your low. To put your low, then now, instead of putting the next result, you're just going to put another comma and put another if. Just like your Excel. Then I already clicked twice. So if you click twice, it's always going to put this. So let me remove it back. So my if, next if, and I put in what I want to use again. So what I want to use is unit sold for that again. And this unit sold. So if the unit sold is lesser than or equals to 50, comma, and put the result, is going to be medium. It's going to be medium. 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 Then now put another comma. Then else, if it's not that, put high. If it's greater up odds, you put high. So so I'm going to put in the next one, which is going to be, don't need to put another if because that's the final result, which is the else. So I'll put in my high. So I have that. If I click close bracket and enter, we should have that here. You can see it now. We have medium, high, medium, high, low, high, medium. So this basically, you can name it as grouping. So you see grouping the products, we are grouping the products. So let me just put it the name as grouping. Grouping. I have that here. So do you understand the if and the nested if now?
Yes.
It's just basically like Excel, the way you use in Excel. Use your if in Excel. Then the next thing is creating your month and day. But for this one, I'm going to be using it to show you how to create a new column. How to use DAX for a table. So I'm going to show you two functions. You don't have much functions that you use for DAX for table because Another thing ahead, another thing I want to say is that there are some functions that you only make use of in column, and there's a function that you only make use in table. I get it. So there's a function that you're going to be using. If I use it in this column now, for example, now is a function called select column. So the function called select column. Let's say I want to use select column now. If I come to, let's say I want to create a new column, I want to use that select column function. Let's see. So I'm just going to leave it, no need to name it, just say select column. That's the function. Then what table am I selecting the column from? I'm selecting it from Apocalypse Sales. Apocalypse Sales. Then what is the name of the column? The name. What is the name? What is the name? What name should I give it?
Customer ID.
Let's give it this name can be alternative because the name can also be here. Are you getting me? So the name can also be here. This name, with it being bracketed like this, means it can be an alternative name. You don't need to put the name. That means you don't need to put it. So I guess anything that you see that is in this, that is not for you to add a column, it can be an alternative. So for example, I can leave this now, and I say that I can leave that alone and just go to my expression. So what is my expression? My expression is what I want to get is I want to bring in select a columns, right? So I want to select the date column. So date. Sorry. I want to say Apocalypse sale date purchased. That's what I want to get. So I'll close my bracket and then I'll press my enter. So let's see that. Let's see that. So you see, argument 2 in selected column function is required. So this, okay, they're saying this one is, let's just put in a name. So name and let's say date. This one is doing us for you. Let me go back. Okay. Name. Sorry. Should be in this stuff. Let me give it date. Let's give it the name of date. And then expression. So the expression should be, I want to get Apocalypse Sales, date, close bracket, sorry, close bracket and enter. Let's see. We're working on that. So I saying a table of multiple value was supplied where a single value was expected. So for this stuff here now, we are not supposed to be using it for this. So you see this function that we use here now, let's use it for a table, to create a table measure. Let me go to my, let me delete this. So let me delete this. I'll come here. Let me create another one now. And I want to create a table. So let's go to table tools. Table tools, create new table. So the new table, you might not be able to see it here or top because you're trying to create a new this thing here. So, but what you want to do is come to this here. You're not be able to see it here too. So come to table, tables to click on new table. So what's going to be the name of the table? Name of my table should be date. Then dates. Then the name, then that's there. Then I want to select a column from that date, for that date this thing. And I want to select the column from Apocalypse. So that's the table I want to select from. So this is Apocalypse Sales. Then comma. So what is the name I want to give to that table? So let me give it a name. The name I want to give to it is date. So that's the name I want to give to it. The column I'm bringing in. That's the column I'm bringing in. This is the name of the table here. This is the column I'm bringing in. So are you getting it? So this is the name of the table here, and this is the name of the column I'm bringing in. So now put in my comma, then my expression. So the expression is basically that's what I want to bring in. So I will say Apocalypse tells this close bracket and then let's see if it's work with magic. Wow. So you see that it has selected that column now and it created it for another. But you see that it was not working in that column because this select column, this thing is meant to create a new table and add in that column that you are selecting from that table that you were to that new table that you created. So if you are using a new column, and you're using a new column measure or calculated column to do it, it's not going to work because calculated column will not create a new table for you. It will only create a new column for you. And now bring out different months from it. So let's say now I want to bring in the year that I have there. So what's the year I have there? I can use my year this thing to get that. So I can use my, let me close all this ones out. So this is what I want to, so I'm going to get the year. So I use a new column. So I want to add another column that contains the year, the day, and the weekend and all that. So let's say for this one, I want to get year. That's the column I want to get. So to get the year, I just use my year function here. The date I want to use. So the date I want to use is in my date, this date here. So I'll say date. So I should be able to see that. So come down to date, select it, and then click on OK. So what it's going to do is going to extract the year from that date that I have there for me. So you're going to extract, so you see 2022, that's the year we have there. You can see 2022, that's the year. If you have another year, it will be able to show there too. So that's that. So let's say I want to also get the month. I want to also get the month from the date that I have there. So I also get the month. So if I want to get the month, the same thing. So for example, first one, I'm going to say month number for this one. Month number. Then the month number, we want to add, we want to get the month. But in this one, now what it's going to be giving us is the month number. So let me just put month. So that's the function we're going to use. Month, then put in the date, then there, put in the date you want to use, where you want to get that month from. I say, click on enter. Then you have the first month, which is 111. You can go there, you see second month, 2 months. But now you see he's having it in number. So let's say we want to get that month now, but you want it to be in alphabet, like in the letter. Like I said, so you want it to be in the letter. What we can do is, because we're also going to use this letter to do something, I'm going to just right click on, I'm going to create another one, which is going to be containing what's it called? The month name. So to use the month name now, I will just type a month name here. Month name. And the month name now, I want to add, now I want to get the month name, but instead of using the month function now, I'll use a function called format. So instead of using the month, I will use format. So format, so the value I want to get is, I want to get the date. Then in the date, I want to get in the month format. So I want to get it in month format, MMM. So put MMM 3 places. You can put it, if you put it in 4, it's going to give you the full name of the month. For example, put it in 4, then close bracket. Sorry, no, bracket is outside. Close bracket here. And close, click on. That's something like that. Let's see. So you have to see, it's giving us the, instead of giving us the 1, 2, 3 now, it's giving us the January from there. It's giving us the February, it's giving us our March and all that. So you can see it, January, February, March is now here. So let's say we want to get the day too. So the same way you go about all this one, you can create the day too. So click on column, new column. Click on new column. Then under the new column, click on write your column code name, which is going to be day. So day. So this is going to be day number, because I want to get the day number first. Day number. So using getting the day number, I'm going to use the day function. What's in the date? I want to use date. So I'm getting the day function, the day from here, close my bracket and enter. So close my bracket and enter, and I have that here. So you can see that this is the days. So I have second, third, fourth. So you can see the days that are working perfectly, and I have them there for me to be able to use them. So I have them there. Then now I can now another one. So another one now that has the name of the day instead of the numbers. So I will come here, I click and say new column, then okay, so I'm adding the day name. So day name, so day name, then day name, then put in your, what's going to be the name of the day. What we are going to be using now is not the day. We are going to be using the same thing we use for the month to get the month name. Use your format. So format, then the value. So the value you're formatting is the date. So the date, come down to the date, then we close out. Okay, put our comma. Then in what format do you want it to be? In what format do you want it to be? So I want it to be in a day, like 2 or those 3 MON, mon, choose this one. I don't want it to be in full, so I'll put it in DDD for day. So DDD is going to give you in your short form. But if you want it to be in full, just put the D 4 times. Well, just short form, just put it in 3 times. You have your short form. You have it in sheet. You see, you can do the same thing for this one. So just put 3 instead of 4. You put in 4, it's going to show you the full one. Same thing with this one. Put in 4 is the format, is going to give you the full name. But if you put in 3, it's going to give you just the abbreviation, which is Gen, all those one and all that. So we have that now. So let's say now we want to know the ones that are weekend. So let's go. We already got the day you want. Let's say we want to get quarter. So what quarter is it? You can also do half quarter this thing. To know the quarter, is it quarter 1? Is this quarter 1, quarter 2, or quarter 3? So everything, you know the quarterly. Look at the quarterly for you. So let's say I want to do quarter here now. So quarter, say quarterly. I say quarterly, then I'll say the function I'm going to be using is quarter function. Then I'll use my date to put in the dates I are getting the quarter from. So what is the date column that is going to get the quarter? The value, the date that is going to get the quarter from. So this here. So what is the quarter of this date? So you can see the quarter of this date is this. So I think